Namaskar dosto, my name is Kalpajwal. You're watching Exercise Explained. So today we will be doing the polynomials fourth exercise. Hope you guys like the video. Let's start with it. Question: determine which of the following polynomials has x plus 1 a factor. The first one is x cube plus x square plus x plus 1. For first what we will do is we will equate this x plus 1 to 0. So what we get is x plus 1 is equal to 0. I take 1 to the other side and what we get is x is equal to minus 1. Now what I do is I just substitute this minus 1 here in this equation and I get minus 1 cube plus minus 1 square plus minus 1 plus 1. So I get it as minus 1 plus 1, that is equal to 0. Since we have got p of x is equal to 0, that means it is a factor. Let's get into the next one, which is x to the power of 4 plus x cube plus x square plus x plus 1. Again, I'll be substituting minus 1 here and I get it as minus 1 to the power of 4 plus minus 1 cube plus minus 1 square plus minus 1 plus 1. Now you have to notice one thing here. Whenever we have a even power of a negative number, it's going to be a positive number, and whenever we have a odd power of a negative number, it's going to be a negative number. So this minus 1 to the power of 4 becomes plus 1, minus 1 to the power of 3 becomes minus 1, minus 1 square becomes plus 1, and minus 1 remains as minus 1, and this plus 1 is just written over here. So you can see we have cancelled whatever we could cancel and I'm left with 1. So since I have got the p of x as 1, I can say that it's not a factor. Let's get into the next one, that is x cube plus 3x, sorry about that, x4 plus 3x cube plus 3x square plus x plus 1. Again I'll be substituting minus 1. So I get as p of minus 1 is equal to minus 1 to the power of 4 plus 3 into minus 1 cube plus 3 into minus 1 square plus minus 1 plus 1. So what I get is 1 minus 3 plus 3 minus 1 plus 1, that's equal to 1. Again we have not got p of x is equal to 0, that means this is not a factor. Coming to the next question, x cube minus x square minus in bracket 2 plus root 2x plus root 2. So again I'll be substituting minus 1. So as I substitute minus 1 cube minus of minus 1 square minus 2 plus root 2 into minus 1 plus root 2. So minus 1 cube becomes minus 1. Minus of minus 1 square. Now minus 1 square becomes plus 1, but that is multiplied by minus, so that becomes minus 1. Here minus into minus is plus, so 2 into 1 is 2, that is written as 2, and root 2 into 1 is root 2, so that is written as root 2, and what I have here is root 2. So this plus 2 and minus 1 cancels, and here what I have is root 2 plus root 2. I just add both of them and I get it as 2 root 2. So in this also we have not got p of x is equal to 0, therefore this is also not a factor. Getting into the next question, use the factor theorem to determine whether g of x is a factor of p of x in each of the following cases. So p of x is 2x cube plus x square minus 2x minus 1, g of x is x plus 1. What we have got to do here is we will equate g of x to 0 and we will get an equation for x. And whatever the value of x we get from here, we substitute it here and we see that what is the answer. So x plus 1 is equated to 0, so x becomes minus 1. Since plus 1 goes to the other side, becomes minus 1. I just substitute minus 1 here, so p of minus 1 is equal to 2 into minus 1 cube plus minus 1 square minus 2 into minus 1 minus 1. So minus 1 cube is minus 1 itself, so minus 1 into 2 gives us minus 2, minus 1 square is plus 1, so that gives us plus 1, minus 2 into minus 1 gives us plus 2, so that's written as plus 2, and minus 1 is written as minus 1. So you can see here minus 2 and plus 2 cancels, plus 1 and minus 1 cancels, so we get it as 0. So we can say that g of x is a factor of p of x. Coming to the next one, p of x is equal to x cube plus 3x square plus 3x plus 1. G of x is x plus 2. Now, as we did in the previous question, we will be equating this to 0 and we will get x is equal to minus 2. Since plus 2 goes to the other side, becomes minus 2. I substitute minus 2 in p of x, so p of minus 2 becomes minus 2 cube plus 3 into minus 2 square plus 3 into minus 2 plus 1. So minus 2 cube gets us minus 8 plus 3 twos are 6 and into 2 since it is square. So 6 twos are 12. So we get it as 12. Here what I get is 3 into minus 2 gives me minus 6 and plus 1 remains as it is. So you can see if I add minus 8 and minus 6 I get it as minus 14, and here if I add 12 and 1 we get it as 13. So minus 14 plus 13 gives us minus 1. Since we have not got p of x is equal to 0, therefore we can tell that g of x is not a factor of p of x. Coming to the next question, g of x is equal to x minus 3 and p of x is x cube minus 4x square plus x plus 6. I just equate g of x to 0. Once I equate g of x to 0, I get x minus 3 is equal to 0 or x is equal to plus 3. Now p of 3 becomes 3 cube, that means I just substitute 3 here, minus 4 into 3 square plus 3 plus 6. 3 cubes gives us 27, 3 square is 9, into 4 gives us 36, but we have a minus sign here, so we get it as minus 36. 3 plus 6 gives us 9, so plus 9. So you can see I have got plus 36 minus 36. So that's nothing but 0. So we can say that g of x is a factor of p of x. Coming into the next question, find the value of k if x minus 1 is a factor of p of x in each of the following cases. Since it is given as x minus 1 is a factor, I would, get the value of x from here. So x minus 1 will be equated to 0. Minus 1 goes to the other side, becomes plus 1, and I get x is equal to 1. Now what we have to do is we need to substitute this x is equal to 1 in p of x, that means this equation, and we need to equate it to 0. Why? Because it is given that it is a factor of p of x. You can see here it is a factor of p of x. So what I would be doing is I would just write 1 square, that is x square, plus 1 plus k is equal to 0. So 1 square is 1 itself, we add 1 to that, becomes 2, goes to the other side, becomes minus 2. So we get k as minus 2 for this. The next question, that is p of x is equal to 2x square plus kx plus 2. Again I'll be putting 1. So p of 1 will be equated to 0, that means 2 into 1 square plus k into 1 plus root 2 is equal to 0. Now 2 into 1 square is 2 itself, k into 1 is k itself plus root 2. So both of them go to the other side, and what we get is plus 2 becomes minus 2 and plus root 2 becomes minus root 2. So we get it as minus 2 minus root 2, that is if we take minus common we get minus of 2 plus root 2. So that's about it. You can leave your answer here also, that's also fine, but it's better you go till here and you leave it there. Coming to the next question, p of x is equal to kx square minus root 2x plus 1. So again I'll be putting the value of x as 1, and as I put the value of x as 1, we will equate p of x to 0. So k into 1 square plus root 2 into 1 plus 1. So k into 1 square gives us k itself, minus root 2 into 1 gives us minus root 2, and here plus 1. Plus 1 goes to the other side, becomes minus 1 as you can see here, and minus root 2 goes to the other side, becomes plus root 2. So we get the value of k as minus root, plus root 2 minus 1. Coming to the next one, p of x is equal to kx square minus 3x plus k. Again, I'll be putting x as 1 and we'll be equating it to 0. So k into 1 square minus 3 into 1 plus k. So k into 1 square gives us k only, minus 3 into 1 gives us minus 3 plus k. So k and k added together gives us 2k, and minus 3 remains as minus 3 is equal to 0. Minus 3 goes to the other side, becomes plus 3, and 2, 2 goes to the other side, becomes divided by 2. So we get k is equal to 3 by 2. Now coming to the next one, we need to factorize this 12x square minus 7x plus 1. So what I'll be doing over here is, this is of the form ax square plus bx plus c, where a is 1, b is minus 7, and c is 1. So I'll be splitting the middle term here. So for splitting the middle term, this term that is minus 7 should be split in such a way that if you multiply the two terms, you should get the multiplication of a into c. That means 12 into 1. It should give us 12. And if you add those two terms, it should give us minus 7. So you can see I have written 12 as 4 into 3. So here 12x square remains as it is. So 7 minus 7x can be written as minus 4x minus 3x. Now if you add minus 4 and minus 3, you get it as minus 7. So that's why I have split it. And if you multiply minus 4 and minus 3, you get it as minus into minus is plus, and 4 into 3 is 12. So you get it as plus 12. That is our A into C. And plus 1 remains as plus 1 itself. Now from the first two terms, we take whatever we can take out common. So I can take out x common because both the terms have x, and both the terms are divisible by 4. So I take 4 common. So 4x is common, and what is left out? 4 into 3 is 12, and x into x is x square. So 3x is left out here, and from here we have taken out entire 4x, so only 1 is left. Coming to the other side, out of 3x plus 1, I can take out minus 1 common, since I have to make this equal. On the here you can see where my mouse is, it is 3x plus 1. So we have to get this side also 3x minus 1. So it was minus 3x plus 1. So what I did is, I took out minus 1 common, and as soon as I took out minus 1 common, the signs changed over here, and we got it as 3x minus 1. So 4x minus 1 can be written to one side, and 3x minus 1 can be written on the other side. Coming to the next question, 2x square plus 7x plus 3. Now 2 into 3 is 6. So we need to split 6 in such a way that, if we add both of them, it should give us 7. And if we multiply, it should give us 6. So you can see the only prime factors of 6 is 2 and 3. So 2 and 3, it's not possible to make 7. So what we will do is, we'll take it as 6 and 1. So you can see here, I have taken 2x square plus 6x plus x plus 3. So out of 2x square and 6x, I have taken 2x common. What is remaining is x plus 3, and from x plus 3, I have taken only 1 common. So what is remaining is x plus 3. So we have got it as 2x plus 1 and x plus 3. Getting into the next question, 6x square plus 5x minus 6. Now, if I multiply the first term and the last term, that is a and c, we get it as 36 and minus 36. So what we need to do is, we need to factorize 36. So 36 can be divided by 2. So if I divide by 2, gets 18 times, and then by 2 again gets 9 times, and 9 I divide by 3 gets 3 times. So I can write 36 as plus 9 and minus 4. Now 9 into 4 is 36, and plus into minus is minus. See, here also we had minus, here we had plus. So we had to get minus 36. So we are getting it here, and plus 9 minus 4 is 5. So we get it as 5 also. So it satisfies the splitting the middle term. So what I do is, from the first two terms, I take whatever I can take out common. That is, I take x common, and 3 also comes out common, and what I am left with is 2x plus 3. And from these two terms, I take minus common, since I need a positive sign, you can see. So minus is taken common, and what is left is 2x plus 3. So on the left term I have 3x minus 2, and on the right term I have 2x plus 3. So we have got it as 3x minus 2 and 2x plus 3. Getting into the next question, that is 3x square minus x minus 4. Now 3 into 4 is 12, and plus into minus is minus, so we need to factorize 12. So 12 can be written as 2 into 2 into 3. So you can see here I need to get minus x, that means I can take it as minus 4 plus 3. So you can see here I have taken 3x square minus 4x plus 3x minus 4. So I take x common from the first two terms, and as I take x common from the first two terms, what I get is 3x minus 4, and from these two terms you can see it's already 3x minus 4. So I just take plus 1 common and I get 3x minus 4 here. So x plus 1 into 3x minus 4 can be written. So that's going to be our answer. Now coming to the next question, it's a slightly difficult question actually. So what actually happens here is, we need to factorize this, and when we factorize this, what we have to do is we have to basically split it into three terms. So x cube minus 2x square minus x plus 2. So what I do is factors of 2 are plus and minus 1 and plus and minus 2. So this last term over here I need to split it such that I get two different factors. So it's by trial and error method. What I do is 1 cube I take it as 1, so 1 cube minus 2 into 1 square minus 1 plus 2. So what I get is 1 minus 2 minus 1 plus 2. So here what I get is 1 plus 2 is 3, and minus 2 minus 1 is minus 3. So plus 3 and minus 3 cancels, and what I get is 0. Now see, we have got 0 for 1. That means for x is equal to 1, we get it as 0. So if I take 1 to the other side, what I get is x minus 1 is equal to 0. So what we can write here is x minus 1 is a factor of p of x. Now there are various ways of doing it. You see this one and the next one, so you'll understand the ways of doing it. The way I do this sum is going to be a bit confusing. The next sum, what I would do is I would take this x minus 1 and I would divide this entire thing with x minus 1. Please be very careful with this because this is slightly difficult. So I just wrote this x cube minus 2x square minus x plus 2. So that's going to be x cube minus 2x square minus x plus 2. So I split this minus 2x and I split this minus x. So you can see here x cube minus x square plus x. And what I do is this minus x can be written as plus x minus 2x plus 2. So out of the first two term I take x common, x square common, and what we get is x minus 1. From the next two terms I take x common and we get x minus 1, and from the next two terms we take minus 2 common and we get again x minus 1. So x minus 1 is common from all the three terms. I take in bracket x square minus x minus 2. So x square minus x minus 2 is again splitted by splitting the middle term. It's again factorized. So x minus 1 remains here, and what we get here is x square minus 2x plus x minus 2. So minus 2x plus x becomes, because I have here as minus x. So this minus x I have written it as a into c is minus 2. So I had to write two things where if we add we get it as minus 1, and if we multiply we get it as minus 2. So I wrote it as minus 2x plus x. So out of the first two terms I take x common, and what we have is x minus 2 plus, in the other two terms we already have x minus 2, so I take it as plus 1, and what I have is x minus 2. So here you can see I can take x plus 1 into x minus 2, I can write. So what we have got is x minus 1, x plus 1, x minus 2. That's going to be our answer. Let's get into the next one. So x cube minus 3x square minus 9x minus 5. Now see, the last term is 5, so we'll try and find the factors of 5. But 5 is the prime number. Therefore, the factors are going to be only 5 and 1. This is the most usual method of doing this type of sums. Please follow this properly. So what I would be doing is I would be substituting 5, and you can see when I substituted 5 here, I got 5 cube minus 3 into 5 square. So here 3 into 5 square minus 9 into 5 minus 5. So what I get is 125 minus 75 minus 45 minus 5. Now minus 75 minus 45 is minus 120, minus 120 minus 5 is minus 125. So you can see plus 125 minus 125 cancels, and what we have got is 0. Since we have got it as 0, so for x is equal to 5, we have got it as 0. If we take 5 to the other side, becomes minus 5. So x minus 5 is equal to 0 is a factor. So what we do is we take this and divide it by x minus 5. Now as we divide it by x minus 5, what happens is we have x cube minus 3x square minus 9x minus 5. Now this is going to be divided by x minus 5. So x into how many times will give us x cube? X into x square times will give us x cube. So here what we get is x cube, and minus 5 into how many times will give us, we have to multiply this with x square. So we get it as minus 5 x square. So this is going to be plus here because it is minus 3x square minus of minus 5 x square. So minus of minus is plus, so it will act like positive number, and 5 minus 3 is 2, so that is how we get this as 2x square, and this minus 9x comes straight away down, so we get it as minus 9x. Now we need to make this x as 2x square, so we multiply this x by 2x, and what we get is we get it as 2x square, and minus 5 into 2x is going to give us minus 10x. Now minus of minus is plus, so it's going to be like 10x minus 9x, that's nothing but x, and this minus 5 comes from the numerator here, from here, and it comes down here. So now you can see we can multiply x minus 5 into one time, that's going to give us x minus 5 itself. So you can see the remainder what we have got here is 0. So now what we will do is we can write the quotient here. You can see I've written x cube minus 3x square minus 9x plus 5 as x minus 5 into x square plus 2x plus 1. So x square plus 2x plus 1 can be written as x plus x, 2x can be written as x plus x, and here what we have is x minus 5. So x minus 5 into x square plus x plus 1. 2x is split into x plus x, and what we have is from the first two terms I have taken x common, and what I'm left with is x plus 1 plus 1 into x plus 1. So x plus 1 becomes here and another x plus 1. So what we have is x minus 5 into x plus 1 into x plus 1. So that is x minus 5 into x plus 1 the whole square. X cube plus 13x square plus 32x plus 20. Now factors of 20 will be plus and minus 1, plus and minus 2, plus and minus 4, plus and minus 5, plus and minus 10. So coming here, what we will be doing is we will basically be trying out each of the factors. So the first thing I tried here is p of minus 1. So minus 1, I get minus 1 cube plus 13 into minus 1 square plus 32 into minus 1 plus 20. So what I get is minus 1 plus 13 into minus 1 square is 1. So 13 into 1 is 13 itself. Plus 32 into minus 1 gives us minus 32 because plus into minus is minus. plus 20. So you can see here, if I add minus 32 and minus 1, I get minus 33. And if I get plus 13 and plus 20, I get plus 33. So minus 33 and plus 33 cancels. So what I get over here is 0. So since minus 1, p of minus 1 is getting us 0, so x is equal to minus 1. If 1 goes to the other side, we get it as x plus 1 is equal to 0. So x plus 1 is a factor. Now coming to the next one, I try with minus 2. So when I put minus 2, what I get is minus 2 cube plus 13 into minus 2 square plus 32 into minus 2 plus 20. So 2 cube is 8 and minus cube is minus itself. So we get it as minus 8. 2 square is 4 and 13 into 4 is 52. But we have a, minus sign here, which squares it off and becomes plus sign. So we get it as plus 54. And what we get here is minus 2 into 32 is nothing but minus 64 plus 20. So what we get is 72 minus 72. So that is equal to 0. So p of minus 2 is equal to 0, or x is equal to minus 2. If minus 2 goes to the left hand side, we get x plus 2 is equal to 0. So we can say x plus 2 is another factor. Please remember that this method is a long trial and error method. It will usually take more time. I just wanted to show you guys all the ways of doing this sum, so I did it by this method. The most usual method for doing these kind of sums is by division, so please prefer division. Here I tried p of minus 4 is not coming as 0, p of minus 5 is also not coming as 0. So I tried with minus 10, and for p of minus 10 I get minus 10 cube plus 13 into minus 10 square plus 32 into minus 10 plus 20. So minus 10 cube I get it as minus 1000, minus 10 square is 100, so 13 into 100 gives us 1300, and here 32 into 10 gives us 320, and we have a minus sign, so minus 320, and plus 20 is written as it is. So minus 1000 plus minus 320 gives us minus 1320, and 1300 plus 20 gives us 1320. So 1320 minus 1320, we get it as 0. So we can tell x is equal to minus 10. If minus 10 comes to the other side, we get x plus 10 is equal to 0. So we have got three factors here. So that is, one is x plus 1, one is x plus 2, and one is x plus 10. So these are the three factors. Remember, this is a very time consuming method, and this will work only when the last number has more than three factors, or three or more than three factors. Please remember that. It will not work with two factors or one factor. Coming to the next polynomial, that is 2y cube plus y square minus 2y minus 1. So what we do over here is, the last term is minus 1, so the factors of minus 1 can be minus or plus 1. So I just try with plus 1. What I get is 2 into 1 cube plus 1 square minus 2 into 1 minus 1. So 2 into 1 cube gives me plus 2, and here plus 1 minus 2 minus 1. So minus 1 plus 1 cancels, minus 2 plus 2 cancels. So what I get is 0. So I can say that y is equal to 1 is a factor. Now if 1 comes to the left hand side, we get y minus 1 is equal to 0. So I can tell y minus 1 is a factor of p of y. Now what I do is, I take this and divide it off with y minus 1. So you can see here I have written 2y cube plus y square minus 2y minus 1, and I have taken y minus 1 outside. So I'll be dividing this with y minus 1, the given polynomial with y minus 1. So we need to multiply y with 2y square in order to get 2y cube. So I take the first term as 2y square. So when I multiply y with 2y square, we get it as 2y cube, and minus 1 when multiplied with 2y square gives us minus 2y square. This minus is nothing but minus of minus, which is nothing but plus. So 2y square plus y square gives us 3y square. This thing cancels over here, 2y cube cancels. And then we have minus 2y, which comes straight away down. So we have got 3y square minus 2y. Now with y, if we multiply 3y, we get 3y square. So I have taken plus 3y. So it gives us 3y square, and minus 1 into plus 3y gives us minus 3y. Now this is minus of minus, so it will act as plus. So 3y minus 2y will give us y, and this minus 1 will come straight away down, and we have got y minus 1. So here what I have got is y minus 1, and here also we have y minus 1. So we just multiply by 1. So in quotient I write it as plus 1, and what we get is y minus 1. You can see the remainder is 0. So once the remainder is 0, what we will do is we will write the given polynomial as y minus 1 into uh, 2y square plus 3y plus 1. That is the quotient. We'll be writing it, we'll be writing the quotient here, and the first factor what we have got here. Now the quotient, what we will do is we will further split the middle term of it. That means the 3y is going to be splitted. So 3y can be split into 2y and y, because 2 into 1 is 2. So we need to get 2 as multiplication. So I can write it as 2y square plus 2y plus y plus 1. So out of the first two terms, I can take 2y common. So what I am left with is y plus 1, and plus here we already have y plus 1, so I can take 1 common. So 1 into y plus 1. So what we get is y minus 1 into y plus 1 into 2y plus 1. Hope you guys like the video. Please do share with your friends. Consider subscribing to the channel.